Be me, 45, Senior Fleet Safety Manager for Interstate Trucking Company. Making $148,000. Been here 17 years, keeping drivers legal and safe. Work for Nationwide Freight Solutions, based in Memphis, Tennessee. We operate 450 commercial trucks across 48 states. Long-haul freight, automotive parts, retail distribution. My job: ensure DOT compliance, monitor driver hours, prevent fatigue violations. When trucking companies ignore safety rules, people die in crashes. March 2025, company hires new DOT safety director. Woman named Candace, age 38, came from logistics consulting. Her background: supply chain optimization, on-time delivery metrics. Limited experience with DOT safety regulations. First safety meeting, she outlines her expectations. Our on-time delivery rate is 94%. Industry average is 97%. Need to improve schedule adherence without adding trucks. Listening to this, I recognize the conflict immediately. Better schedule performance means tighter driver hours. Tighter hours means more fatigue risk. Can improve delivery times without adding safety margin. 4 months later, I'll discover she ignored 7 fatigue reports. Pressure drivers to falsify electronic logbooks. One driver will fall asleep after 16-hour shift. Crash into morning traffic, kill 9 people. Here's how optimizing delivery schedules caused mass casualty. March 2025, Nationwide Fleet Operations before Candace. Safety Department, 8 professionals. Fleet managers, compliance specialists, training coordinators. I'm Senior Fleet Safety Manager, Certified DOT Safety Director, 22 years trucking. Monitor all driver hours, enforce hours of service regulations. Report to DOT Safety Director, responsible for federal compliance. Our drivers follow strict federal hours of service rules. 11-hour driving limit per shift. 14-hour on-duty limit, includes non-driving work. 10-hour minimum off-duty rest between shifts. 60-hour weekly limit, 7-day period. 70-hour limit, 8-day period. These limits prevent fatigue-related crashes. Tired drivers are dangerous as drunk drivers. Reaction time slow, judgment impairs, micro-sleep occurs. Every driver has electronic logging device. ELD automatically tracks hours, prevents cheating. System alerts when driver approaches limits. Can't drive once hours expire. Legally required break. Our compliance record is solid. 17 years. Minimal hours of service violations. Occasional minor overages, quickly corrected. No serious fatigue incidents. 0 fatality crashes. This safety culture requires operational flexibility. Sometimes drivers hit hour limits before delivery. Operations must adjust, send different driver. Or deliver next day, accept late penalty. Previous DOT safety director, guy named Stanley, age 62. Former truck driver himself, 40 years in industry. He prioritized safety over schedules, absolutely. Late delivery costs money. Fatigue, crash costs lives. Always choose late over unsafe. Under Stanley, operations respected safety constraints. Dispatchers planned routes with hour buffers. Didn't schedule loads requiring violation of limits. Candace spends first 2 weeks analyzing delivery performance. Reviews on-time percentages, delay reasons, customer complaints. Examines driver hour utilization rates. 3rd week, she calls meeting with operations leadership. Me, plus dispatch manager, fleet operations director, driver training lead. Candace presents data via detailed metrics dashboard. Analysis shows 6% of deliveries are late. Primary reason: driver hours of service limitations. Drivers reaching 11-hour limit before completing routes. Dispatch manager, guy named Mitchell, age 47, confirms. That's correct. Some routes are scheduled tight. If driver encounters traffic or weather delays, may hit hour limit before reaching destination. Candace asks, why not schedule routes within hour limits? I explain the challenge. We do schedule within limits, but real-world conditions vary from plans. Traffic, weather, loading delays all consume hours. When driver hits limit, legally must stop driving. Candace, what if we optimize routes better? Reduce buffer time, improve efficiency. Fleet Operations Director, guy named Garrett, age 44, response. We already optimize heavily. Current schedules assume ideal conditions. Any reduction in buffer increases violation risk. Candace presses. Other trucking companies achieve 97% on time. They operate under same hours of service rules. What are they doing differently? I know the answer, but don't want to say it. Some companies push legal boundaries. Pressure drivers to falsify logs. Accept violation risks for schedule performance. Mitchell, dispatch manager, finally says it. Companies with better on-time rates take more risks. Either pressure drivers beyond limits or find ways around ELD requirements. Candace seems interested. What ways around ELD? I intervene. There are no legitimate ways around ELD. Electronic logs are federally mandated. Tampering with them is federal crime. Candace clarifies, I'm not suggesting anything illegal. Just asking how competitors achieve better performance. Garrett explains, some use personal conveyance loophole. Drivers claim they're driving to rest area. System doesn't count those hours as on duty. But some drivers abuse it, used for freight movement. Candace, is that illegal? I explain, personal conveyance is legal for specific purposes. Driving to safe parking, food, rest. Not legal for making commercial progress on load. FMC say audits ELD data, catches abuse patterns. Candace, but short-term use wouldn't trigger audit? That question alarms me. Any systematic use creates pattern. FMC say algorithms detect violations. Better to accept occasional late delivery than risk federal investigation. Meeting ends with Candace stating she'll review options. I'm worried about where her thinking is going. After meeting, I approach Garrett privately. Candace seems focused on schedule over safety. Garrett agrees. She doesn't understand trucking culture. Thinks safety rules are negotiable like delivery times. I decide to escalate to CEO. Guy named Howard, age 54, founded company 20 years ago. Former truck driver, built business from single truck. He understands road safety from personal experience. I meet with Howard, explain concerns. New safety director is questioning hours of service limits, asking how to work around ELD requirements. Howard takes this seriously. That's concerning. Our safety record is competitive advantage. Can't risk that for marginal schedule improvement. He promises to talk with Candace about priorities. Next day, Howard meets with her, reinforces company's safety-first culture. Schedule performance is important, but not at expense of DOT compliance. Candace apparently agrees. Howard tells me she understands now, committed to maintaining safety standards. I want to believe that, but I'm still uneasy. April 2025, subtle changes in operations begin. Dispatch starts scheduling routes more aggressively. Less buffer time, tighter delivery windows. Drivers start reporting schedule pressure. One driver, guy named Julian, age 42, comes to me. Dispatch is pushing me to use personal conveyance. Had hour left to reach delivery, hit 11-hour limit. Dispatcher told me, just PC the last hour. I check his ELD data. Shows 45 minutes personal conveyance. Annotated as driving to truck stop. But timestamps show he was at customer location. That's not personal conveyance. That's violation. I document this, send report to Candace. Driver pressured to misuse personal conveyance. This is hours of service violation. Need to address with dispatch immediately. Candace responds via email. Reviewing. Week goes by, no action taken. I follow up. Has dispatch been counseled? Candace spoke with them, addressed the issue. But I check with Mitchell, dispatch manager. Did Candace talk to you about personal conveyance? Mitchell, she told me to be more careful about documentation. Make sure annotations are detailed. That's not addressing the problem. That's teaching them to hide violations better. Mid-April, second driver fatigue report. Driver named Rebecca, age 39, reports falling asleep briefly. Caught herself, pulled over immediately. No accident, but close call. She'd been driving 5 hours, exceeding 11-hour limit. Dispatch had pressured her to finish delivery. Customer is waiting, just one more hour. Rebecca felt obligated, kept driving, nearly crashed. I investigate her ELD data. Shows systematic pattern of limit violations. Multiple days exceeding 11-hour driving limit. Using personal conveyance to mask excess hours. I prepared detailed safety report. Document Rebecca's near-miss incident. Include her complete ELD violation history. Send to Candace with urgent flag. Driver fatigue nearly caused crash. Systematic hours of service violations detected. Immediate corrective action required. Candace's response. Driver has been counseled. I check with Rebecca. Did Candace talk to you? Rebecca. She asked if I was okay. Told me to take rest day. Didn't mention my violation history. Candace didn't address the root cause. Dispatch pressure causing violations. Just addressed immediate incident. Late April through May, 5 more fatigue reports. Different drivers, same pattern. Schedule pressure leads to hour violations. Near-miss incidents, close calls. Each time I document thoroughly. Send detailed report to Candace. Each time response is minimal. Driver counseled. Issue addressed. Monitoring situation. But violations continue. Dispatch keeps scheduling aggressive routes. Drivers keep getting pushed beyond limits. I'm documenting 7 separate fatigue incidents now, all ignored or minimally addressed by Candace. May 25th, I send comprehensive safety memo. Compiled all 7 fatigue reports, showing systemic pattern of violations. Direct to Candace, copying CEO Howard. 7 separate driver fatigue incidents in 2 months, all linked to dispatch scheduling pressure. Hours of service violations becoming routine. Request immediate operational review and policy enforcement. Howard responds first. This is serious. Meeting tomorrow, all leadership. May 26th, emergency safety meeting. Howard, Candace, me, Garrett, Mitchell, compliance officer. I present the 7 reports chronologically. Show pattern of increasing violations. Dispatch pressure, driver fatigue, near-miss incidents. Howard asks Candace directly, why wasn't this escalated? Candace, I was monitoring the situation, working with drivers individually. Howard, 7 incidents in 2 months isn't individual. This is a systemic problem requiring structural fix. He directs immediate changes. All routes reviewed for hour compliance. Dispatch prohibited from pressuring hour violations. Any driver reporting pressure gets immediate investigation. Candace agrees to implement. I think finally we'll fix the problem, but it's already too late. June 2nd, 5:47 a.m., Interstate 40 east of Memphis. Morning rush hour traffic, clear weather. Driver named Julian, same one from April incident. Behind wheel of 80,000-pound tractor trailer, loaded with automotive parts for Nashville delivery. Julian started shift yesterday, 2 p.m. Drove 11 hours, reached hour limit at 1 a.m. Should have stopped, taken mandatory 10-hour rest. But dispatch called, customer needs morning delivery. Can you push through? We'll cover the hours. Julian felt pressure, kept driving. He's been awake 16 hours now, well beyond legal driving limit. Exhausted, fighting to stay alert. 5:47 a.m., Julian experiences microsleep. 3-second loss of consciousness. Eyes close, brain shuts down briefly. Truck drifts from right lane across center into oncoming westbound lanes. Julian jolts awake, sees headlights. Yanks will hard, overcorrects. 80,000 pounds jackkniffs across highway. Blocks all 3 eastbound lanes. 5:48 a.m., morning commuters can't stop in time. First car hits trailer broadside, 65 miles per hour impact. Driver killed instantly. Second car swerves, hits median barrier, rolls. 2 occupants killed. Third car rear ends first car. Driver and passenger killed. Fifth vehicle, minivan with family of 4. Can't stop. Impacts pile up at full speed. Mother, father, 2 children killed. Total, 9 vehicles, 9 fatalities. Plus 14 injuries, 3 critical. Tennessee Highway Patrol responds within minutes. Scene is catastrophic. Multiple vehicles demolished. Fatalities obvious. Carnage everywhere. Interstate 40 closed both directions. Investigation begins immediately. June 2nd, 7:30 a.m. I get call from Tennessee Highway Patrol. Are you fleet safety manager for Nationwide Freight? I confirm yes. One of your drivers was involved in fatal crash. Multiple fatalities, need you on scene. I drive to crash site, arrive 8:45 a.m. Scene is still active, bodies being removed. Highway Patrol, Sergeant briefs me. Your driver crossed center line. Caused 9 vehicle pileup. 9 confirmed dead. Driver survived, claims he fell asleep. My stomach drops hearing that. What's the driver's name? Sergeant checks. Julian Rodriguez. I know him. He's the one from April report. The one pressured to violate hours. Sergeant continues. We pulled his electronic logs. Shows 16 hours on duty when crash occurred. Federal limit is 11 hours driving, 14 hours on duty. This is major hours of service violation. I asked to see the ELD data. Shows Julian started shift 2 p.m. previous day. Drove until 1 a.m. Hit 11-hour driving limit. Then marked 1 hour as personal conveyance. Continued driving another 4 hours. Total, 16 hours on duty, 15 hours actually driving. This is exactly what I warned about. Exactly what 7 reports documented. And 9 people are dead because it wasn't stopped. June 2nd, 10 a.m., I call Howard immediately. Julian crashed, 9 fatalities. He was 16 hours in a shift, major HOS violation. Howard is devastated. How did this happen? I explain, same pattern for my 7 reports. Driver pushed beyond hours, fell asleep, crossed center line. Howard, where was Candace on this? I'm direct. I sent 7 fatigue reports. All documented driver pressure and violations. She minimized each one, didn't fix root cause. Howard, this is exactly what you warned about. I confirm, yes, in writing 7 times. Howard, suspend all operations immediately. Don't move any trucks until we assess this. Within hours, all 450 trucks are parked. Company operations completely halted. June 3rd, NTSB sends GO team to investigate. National Transportation Safety Board. They investigate major highway accidents. 9 fatalities qualifies as major incident. NTSB investigators arrive, begin comprehensive review. Interview drivers, dispatch, safety personnel. Review company safety records, policies, communications. I provide complete documentation. All 7 fatigue reports I sent to Candace. Her minimal responses to each. Pattern of violations leading to fatal crash. NTSB, lead investigator reviews everything. You documented this escalating problem. Sent 7 separate warnings to safety director. What action did she take? I'm honest. Minimal counseling of individual drivers. No systemic changes to dispatch practices. Violations continued until fatal crash. Investigator. So she ignored your warnings? Yes. June 5th, FMCSA joins investigation. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They regulate trucking industry, enforce HOS rules. FMCSA requests complete ELD data. All 450 trucks, all drivers past 6 months. Their analysts review thousands of trip logs, looking for violation patterns. June 10th, FMCSA presents preliminary findings to company leadership in emergency meeting. Analysis of ELD data shows systematic violations. 342 instances of drivers exceeding 11-hour limit. 187 instances of inadequate rest periods. 93 instances of personal conveyance abuse. FMCSA investigator continues. These violations involved 300 different drivers. Pattern indicates company-wide policy failure, not isolated incidents, systemic noncompliance. Howard asks, what does this mean for company? FMCSA, we're issuing imminent hazard out-of-service order. All 450 vehicles prohibited from operation, plus suspending CDL licenses for all 300 drivers. Pending safety fitness review, Garrett asks, suspending 300 licenses? FMCSA, drivers participated in systematic violations. CDL holders are responsible for their own compliance. Suspensions remain until fitness determination. This is company death sentence. Can't operate without drivers. Can't get new drivers quickly. Existing drivers can't work with suspended licenses. June 11th, Candace is terminated for cause. Board votes unanimously, immediate removal. She's escorted from property. I'm named interim DOT safety director, but there's nothing to direct. All operations suspended indefinitely. June 15th, customer contracts start canceling. Without trucks running, can't fulfill deliveries. Major customers, Walmart, Amazon, Ford, Home Depot, all terminate freight agreements. Contract penalties total $18 million. June 20th, drivers begin filing lawsuits. 300 drivers with suspended CDLs. Can't work anywhere in trucking. Lost income, career damage. Class action seeks $120 million in damages. June 25th, families of 9 crash victims file suits. Wrongful death claims against company. Negligent supervision, unsafe operations. Each seeking $10 to $20 million. Total potential liability, $180 million. July 2025, company files bankruptcy. Cannot survive without operating authority. Cannot get authority back with safety violations. Cannot pay pending lawsuits. Assets, $140 million. Trucks, facilities, equipment. Liabilities, $320 million. Lawsuits, penalties, debts. Chapter 7 liquidation, company dissolved. All 890 employees terminated, including me, despite trying to prevent this. July 15th, criminal investigation opens. U.S. Attorney's Office, Western District of Tennessee. Reviewing for federal transportation crimes. 9 deaths resulting from HOS violations. Falsification of electronic logbooks. Conspiracy to violate DOT regulations. July 20th, Candace is arrested. Federal grand jury indictment. 9 counts of criminally negligent homicide. Conspiracy to violate hours of service regulations. Falsification of electronic logs. Each negligent homicide count carries 10 years, plus conspiracy and falsification charges. Total potential sentence, 120+ years. August 2025, Candace's criminal trial begins. Prosecution presents my 7 safety reports. Shows I warned repeatedly about fatigue violations. Candace took minimal action each time. Violations continued, culminated in fatal crash. Prosecution presents ELD data analysis. 300 drivers, 622 total violations over 6 months. Pattern shows company-wide policy failure. Families of 9 victims testify. Mother and father lost both children in minivan. Elderly woman lost her husband of 40 years. Young woman lost both parents. All because truck driver fell asleep after being pressured to violate hour limits. Defense argues Candace didn't directly cause crash. Julian chose to keep driving. He's responsible for his own compliance. Prosecution counters with my reports. She created culture where drivers felt pressured. Ignored 7 warnings documenting that pressure. 9 deaths resulted from her negligence. September 2025, jury convicts on all counts. Guilty of 9 counts criminally negligent homicide. Guilty of conspiracy to violate DOT regulations. Guilty of falsification of records. Sentencing hearing scheduled. October 2025, judge imposes sentence. 22 years federal prison. $400 fine. Lifetime ban from transportation industry. Judge's statement during sentencing. You were DOT safety director, responsible for preventing exactly this tragedy. Fleet safety manager sent you 7 reports, documenting driver fatigue and HOS violations. You ignored every warning, prioritized delivery schedules over driver safety. 9 people died because a driver fell asleep. Driver who was 16 hours into his shift, violating federal limits you were hired to enforce. 22 years reflects 9 lives lost to your negligence. Today, February 2026. 8 months since fatal crash. 7 months since company liquidation. Nationwide Freight Solutions no longer exists. Assets sold at bankruptcy auction. Brand discontinued. Operations ceased. 890 jobs eliminated permanently. I found new position at different trucking company. Fleet safety manager, $155,000. Company with strong safety culture. When drivers report fatigue, we believe them. When hour limits approach, we stop. Better late delivery than dead driver. 300 drivers still dealing with CDL suspensions. Most served 6-month suspension. Required safety retraining before reinstatement. Many couldn't find trucking jobs afterward. Industry knows they were part of violation scandal. 9 families still grieving. Mother, father, 2 children in minivan. 2 adults in first car. Driver and passenger in third car. Elderly couple in fourth car. All dead because driver fell asleep. At 5:47 a.m. on Interstate 40. After driving 16 hours straight. Candace serves time in federal prison. 22 years sentence. Eligible for parole in 18 years. Career ended at age 38. All because she ignored 7 driver fatigue reports. Prioritized on-time delivery over hours of service compliance. Pressured drivers to falsify electronic logs. Created culture where schedule mattered more than safety. Julian, the driver, also prosecuted. Pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide. Got 15 years state prison. He chose to keep driving when exhausted. But company culture pressured that choice. I think about those 7 reports constantly. April through May, escalating warnings. Each one documented driver fatigue risk. Each one sent to Candace for action. Each one minimized or ignored. If she'd acted on report 1, fixed dispatch pressure immediately. Julian never would have been in that situation. Never driven 16 hours. Never fallen asleep at 5:47 a.m. Never crossed into oncoming traffic. 9 people would still be alive. But she wanted 97% on-time delivery. Industry average performance. Better metrics, better schedule adherence. And she got it for 2 months. April and May, delivery performance improved. Reached 96.5% on time. Almost at her goal. Cost of that improvement. 622 hours of service violations. 300 suspended CDL licenses. 9 dead in highway pileup. 890 jobs lost in bankruptcy. Her freedom for 22 years. DOT safety director. Ignored 7 driver fatigue reports. NTSB suspended. 300 commercial driver licenses. After 9 people died. In crash caused by driver who fell asleep. After 16 hours. Behind the wheel. Because on-time delivery mattered more than driver safety.